Nitinji was facing some technical difficulty, so he's going to be back within a minute or so. And Rahul, do you want me to show something?
Please, Sudha, go ahead.
I was just trying to find our Instagram page because there are some new reels which have been posted by our team. Probably those can be a little bit engaging there. So.
Yes, actually, there's a Swamiji's reel which came just right now, so we can probably play that. What is another thing that I can? Aparnaji, do you want to sing a bhajan? Okay, no, so I will play actually a bhajan of Swamiji in the meanwhile. You can see my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
we can.
you can see.
Radhe Radhe Govind Govind Radhe.
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 Radhe Radhe Prem Laga De Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Prem Agade Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Prem Laga De Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Prem Agade Radhe.
Radhe 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 Govind Govind Radhe.
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 So this was it. Do we have Nitinji back?
I don't think so, not yet.
Oh, he's okay.
So in the meantime, we can have some bhajans from somebody. Is anybody up for bhajan?
You.
Nobody? Sandhya, Rahul, Sham, Swati ji. Why is there?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect.
Great. So let me share my screen. We will get started. Sorry about that. We had a bit of a technical challenge today. I'll try to get that resolved with my new laptop, of course. So let's get started. Radhe Radhe. Good morning, good evening, everyone. Let's get started on the topic of our discussion today. We'll get started by invoking the blessings of God and Guru. Were you in the middle of something that I disturbed, guys? If you want to complete.
No.
Okay, let's quickly get started then. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Radhe Radhe, morning, good evening, everyone. So we'll quickly get started today. I'll recite the shloka and then we will continue because we lost a little bit of time today and we have good amount of content to cover as well. So let's get started. Naham prakasha sarvasya Yogamaya samavritah Mudhoyam nabhijanati Loko mamajamavyayam. So the quick short translation for this shloka is, I'm not manifest to everyone, being veiled by my divine Yogamaya energy. Hence, those without knowledge do not know that I am without birth and changeless. So let's get started. We have lost a bit of a time today, so we will directly get started with our discussion, topic of our discussion today. So let's look at, so sorry about that, because of the delay, we are getting started. So in this, today we are going to talk about God also has a soul. Now we don't have a soul, we are a soul, we have a body. And God also has soul and body both. And we will look at it in context of the energy of God that we are talking about. And how is it different from human soul? That is also we will discuss. Let's get started. So we will start with the Bhakti Shatak verse. The very first verse that Maharaj Ji has written. Let's recite that quickly and then we will get started. It says, Advitiya ek tattva hai Radha tattva pradhan Radhe Radhe Ya ko dujo रूप है स्वयं कृष्ण भगवान Radhe Radhe. So what does it mean? It means that absolute supreme divinity is Shri Radha. Okay, in case you're wondering why we do Radhe Radhe, who is the absolute essence of divine love? Her other form is Krishna, who descended on this earth 5,000 years ago at the end of the age of Dwapar. Okay. So these Advitiya Tattva, basically they are non-different from each other. Okay, we'll talk about this concept more. It's just like milk and whiteness cannot be separated. Right? Sweetness and sugar cannot be separated. Heat, light and fire cannot be separated. Water and wetness cannot be separated. Similarly, Radha and Krishna, they are inseparable. In divine realm, the spiritual father has assumed another form, right? He must have thought that souls have gotten a father but not a mother, so let me take on the form of a mother as well to duplicate the ras. So Krishna, in his divine times, devours Radha's ras. Radha, in her divine pastimes, devours Krishna's ras. For us souls, we have double bonus. We can do both Krishna and Radha ras, Gaur and Sham ras, for that matter. So God has assumed two forms in divine pastime. Actually, it is the same entity. Shakti and Shaktiman, there is no difference. Still, Shakti in spirituality is accorded higher status than that of Shaktiman. Okay, because it's through his Shakti alone that God can grace, or God gets all the important or improbable, impossible tasks accomplished. Okay, so let's move on. So these are the three entities that we are talking about, three eternal entities, Yogamaya, Jeeva, and Maya, Tattva. These are the three eternal entities. Supreme energetic Prerak is Lord Krishna. He has infinite energies. Amongst these, Yogamaya, souls, and Maya are the main ones. So for our understanding, what we need to understand, let's understand these three are important for us. There's going to be a lot of dissertation, analysis, and study that will be carried out in coming years on these three entities. Okay, we are the fortunate ones to be knowing and trying to understand these tattvas so much early on, courtesy or by grace of Maharaj Ji and Swami Ji. But there is going to be tons and tons of literature that will be written on this topic in the years to come. Now let's move on. Energizer, this is the energy. So somebody is hiding their face here, right? That is essentially what Yogamaya does. So when God descends in this world, because of his Yogamaya, through Yogamaya power, and reveals his divine pastimes, abodes, and bliss. But then his divinity is veiled from us, right? It is not visible to us. And Yogamaya is what makes it possible. Now we are unable to feel his presence, although he's seated in our hearts. And if we are fortunate enough to see the Lord in his personal form, even then we will not recognize him. In fact, he will reveal himself in our hearts when it is purified. Right? Like people, they live in different places. In I think UK it's Ville, and in US it is Ville or Parkway or Drive. In India it is Pur, Nagpur, Kanpur, Nurpur. So similarly, God also resides in a Pur. It is called Urpur. Pur means our heart. He resides in our heart. However, he reveals himself when our heart becomes clean, our antakaran becomes clean. That's when he reveals himself. That's what our scriptures tell us. So Yogamaya energy is something that veils his presence. Until we are eligible for his divine vision, Yogamaya will keep on hiding God from us. And it's only by God's grace that Yogamaya bestows upon the divine vision, because of which we are able to recognize and see God. Like Arjun was bestowed that grace by Lord Krishna himself, he was able to see the cosmic form of God himself. And even otherwise, I mean, even if we don't have to see the cosmic form, even if you have to associate with his personal form, it is through the grace of God which is enabled by the Yogamaya power of God, that we can see him. Let's move on. So, what does it mean basically when we say he's concealed? So if you put a stethoscope to our heart, can a doctor figure out there is God seated within? Apparently no, because it's a material apparatus, right? They cannot. Or for that matter, can you get what is this called, microscope, and figure out God, although he's permeated every atom? So if you start looking at something through a microscope, can you see God? We cannot. We cannot even reach up to the level of soul, because it is a subtle element. It is not a gross element that can be detected by a material instrument or a material apparatus. We cannot. The material apparatus will always have a limitation around it. So we can't experience, as we see, or see God. It is just not possible to do that, okay, through our material apparatus. Having said that, now let's look at it from a world standpoint. Right? Now, what other? It is because of his Yogamaya power that he's concealed from us. That is the veil that we are talking about. Now, if we look at this world also, how is God able to manage so many souls across lifetimes? If you think of it, God, he's managing so many souls, and some of those souls are kaputs also. Right? People say that my God died young. Some people say, like Marxists would say, that God is nothing but the opiate of the masses. So all those things are said by people, and God is able to still maintain the bliss. He's Satchidanand, and his bliss does not decrease just because of these kind of things where he has to manage souls who might be against God himself. And if you look at us, see, there are mad people who are mad people. My mad people are those who act, abnormally, and they act abnormally consistently. That is why they are mad, lunatic, so to say. And we are also mad, but we do that periodically. When we are normal, we understand, hey, I am a soul. The purpose of life is to realize God. But then when that knowledge slips, we become mad, right? We become angry, we become upset. We again start chasing material things. We succumb to anxiety and stuff like that. So intermittently we act like that, and intermittently we have question marks against God also. God is bad, whether God is there, God exists or not. How could God do this to me? So God maintains or deals with all of this stuff without losing his bliss. How does he maintain his bliss or equanimity? Because he has the power of Yogamaya. There's a story in, so whether he remains in Dwarka or otherwise, like other day we were talking about that God actually chose to serve his devotee. He became his servant for 12 years. There's another story of Lord Krishna in, so what happens, Satyabhama, so Narad Muni, he creates tensions, he enjoys, he revels in that, Devarshi Narad Muni. So he gives a fruit to Krishna, and basically Krishna takes that fruit, and I think he shares it with Rukmini, and that Narad seizes that opportunity. He goes to Satyabhama and says, you know what, you think you are his favorite? He apparently gave it to Rukmini. So Rukmini, then Satyabhama goes to Krishna. There is politics in Golok also, like Swamiji says, they always do that Leela. So Satyabhama goes to Krishna, he said, how could you? She also became upset, and there also the tantrums are thrown by wives, and Krishna has to do the balancing act and manage that. So he said that fruit was given to you by Narad Muni, and you have given it to Rukmini, not me. And she did man, started getting upset. So Krishna said, forget it. Forget, you are asking for fruit, I will give you the whole tree. So there's a kalpa vriksh that he says that I will give it to you. So she gets a kalpa vriksh by grace of Krishna. Now, when she gets a kalpa vriksh, Narad Muni says, he says, congratulations, you've got a kalpa vriksh, but now you have to do some dan, charity, because you got such a precious thing. She said, all right, I'll do charity. He said, but when you do charity, it has to be something dear to you, very, very dear to you. You cannot do charity of something that is inconsequential for you, right? In India, they do that. When you have to give up something, they will give up something that is not basically, which is something that you can easily part with. And the first casualty is usually bangan or kaddu. Okay, they give up eating something that they anyway don't like. Okay, I'll give up kaddu, I'll give up bangan, I'll give up this, that. So that is not the way. So charity or giving up or renunciation is something which is something dear to you, because it is done in a spirit of sacrifice. So then he asked Satyabhama that you have to give a sacrifice now, and that sacrifice has to be something which is very dear to you. And who's dear to? And that is something that she has to supposed to offer to Narad. Now, who's dear to her? It's Krishna. He is the dearmost to Satyabhama. So he said, okay, I offer Krishna to you. So Narad Muni says, hey, Trivangilal, come, you are my slave now. So Krishna says, all right. Krishna starts walking. So basically, Krishna is least disturbed by these kind of things, whether he's the Mathuradhish or he has been sold or offered in charity to somebody. He said, all right, he picked up his lota and started walking around. Right? Until all the queens, they intervened and said, no, this cannot happen, that Krishna is walking away with Narad. So let's give something equivalent of Krishna. So they said, okay, we will give something equivalent by putting jewels on one side and Krishna on one side. So then they started stacking up jewels after jewels after jewel, and Krishna was heavy on the other side until they put a leaf, tulsi leaf with love, and then Krishna came up. So the Leela was done basically to tell two things. One is that Krishna can only be matched or enslaved by love, nothing else. And second is, there's absolute equanimity in Krishna Leelas. He doesn't care whether he's serving his devotee, or he's become a das of somebody, or he's a king, right? Complete equanimity. How is he able to maintain that? Because of his Yoga Maya power. That is why Yoga Maya power is very, very special. Not only enables him to act in the way that he does, maintain his bliss throughout, but also enables him to take avatar, also enables him to achieve impossible feats, which is not possible, which are virodhabhasi, contradictory, right? Smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest, being present at one place and at the same time present at all the places. So all these feats are possible for God through his Yogamaya power. Okay, so that is how he maintains that. Then he takes so many avatars. We have spoken about that as well. That is also through his Yogamaya power. And then which supercomputer does God use? If you look at, the supercomputer which maintains the log of so many lifetime karma of every person, that supercomputer is nothing but Yogamaya only. Okay, so that is the importance or significance of Yogamaya. Now let's again go back to what we have been discussing, the Maya, Jeeva Shakti, and Yoga Maya. It is also called Swarupa Shakti or his Parashakti. Okay. So going back to that, this Swarupa Shakti has three aspects. Yesterday we were talking about Nirakar Brahma. Within this Swarupa Shakti, which is his Yogamaya Shakti, the Sat component of it, the Sat aspect of it, if it is enabled through his, so basically let me first say that God is called Satchidanand. We have spoken about this concept, but doesn't hurt to refresh that, because he's Sat, Chit and Anand. Sat rolls up into Chit, so he's, okay, that is the next one. So this Sat is enabled by Sandhini Shakti. And this Sandhini Shakti enables form. Without this, Krishna would be Nirakar Brahma. That is what we were talking about, which does not have an ability to grace. We spoke about this concept as well. Okay. So the Sandhini Shakti, which is part of Sat, which is in turn is part of the Swarupa Shakti, is what gives God form. And that is how God takes avatar, by taking on a form. Okay. That is a Sandhini Shakti that is enabling that. The other aspect is the Samvit Shakti. Samvit Shakti adds the sweetness, friendliness, etc., and through which he performs his leelas. Okay. And then the Ananda Shakti is the Hladini Shakti, the topmost Shakti, so to say. So basically the Sat rolls into Chit, so God is also called Chidanand. Or if you simply call God Anand, that is also a complete definition of God, because Anand encapsulates Sat and Chit components of it. Okay. It is enabled by Hladini Shakti. Now you will say this is Yogamaya Shakti, right? The essence of Yogamaya Shakti is Hladini Shakti. Does it end there? No, it goes even beyond that. That's what we will going to look at now. Okay. Because this is God's soul is what we are going to get into. So this Swarupa Shakti, you are with me so far, right? Jeev, Maya, these are the three eternal entities that we are talking about: Jeeva Shakti, Maya Shakti, and the Swarupa Shakti. Then we came to the Yoga Maya, that is what we are discussing. This is the highest power. We are the Tatastha Shakti, and an inferior or insentient Shakti is the Maya Shakti. Now within Swarupa Shakti, Hladini Shakti is the divine bliss. That is the essence of Swarupa Shakti. Essence of Hladini Shakti is the divine love, which is called Premanand. Essence of that is, the supreme essence of that is Mahabhav. And the personified essence of that is Radharani, or the Yogamaya Shakti that we are talking about. It is the personified essence of that. Okay, so this is the position of Radharani. Radhika Upanishad says, Ye yam Radha yash Krishna. Whatever is Krishna, same is Radha. Whatever is Radha, same is Krishna. Right? Maharaj Ji has said that in his very first Aditya Ek Tattva hai, the same thing. So this is who Radha Tattva or Yogamaya Tattva is. Now what does it mean? Let's look at it from a this Radha Tattva that we talk about. Now similar to the God, his Yogamaya Shakti also manifests in different personal forms. What are those forms? There's absolutely no difference between any of these. Parvati, Durga, Kali, Lakshmi, Sita. They are all manifestations of that same Yogamaya power in different moods. Mother is also in different moods. Sometimes she's in official mood, it becomes Durga. When she's in loving mood, she becomes Radha, and so on and so forth. Right? Now if she has to vanquish demons and take care of illegal entities in this material universe, then she'll come as Kali. So depending upon the purpose that mother is supposed to serve, she will assume that particular form. But there's absolutely no difference between the Yogamaya powers or the different manifestations of the Yogamaya power and the Radha Tattva itself. Okay, that is a key concept to understand. Now let's look at it. See, we are a soul which provides energy to our gross body. Okay. It is energized by soul. As we see that our body is energized by soul. Soul is energized by super soul, which is nothing but God himself, right? The Paramatma aspect of God. And who is soul's soul? There is soul's soul also. That is the Yogamaya Shakti. Now the difference between our soul, I shouldn't say our soul, human soul and God's soul is that they are one and the same. There's no difference. For us, the body and the soul aspect both are different entities. One is a gross body, other is divine. In this case, there's no difference. Okay, Shakti, Shaktiman, there's no difference. Although it is its power, but both have no difference whatsoever. So this is our divine mother, and it is, you can also understand it as God's soul. Okay, and that is like we are energized by our soul, God is energized by his Yogamaya power. So in other words, Yogamaya power, Swarupa Shakti, Parashakti, Atrangi Shakti, is nothing but God's soul. Okay, to simplify this whole conversation. And there's no difference between God's body and God's soul. Like we have a difference, God doesn't have that difference. So with that, let's look at this concept. So God's most priceless possession is divine love. And essence of divine love is his Yogamaya Shakti Radha. Now, if you have a very precious thing, where would you keep it in your home? Would you keep it lying in your front yard, hang it in front of your door, make it very conspicuous, visible, easily accessible, or would you hide it in the most secret room inside the closet, or within that closet, another closet, another closet, another closet? You would do that, right? Same thing God does as well. Because divine love, see, first of all, the good thing is I said that we should be willing to do charity of something that is dear to us. That is the principle. And God also walks the talk. He said, I will give the most precious thing that is there to you, provided you are eligible for it. Because once God gives us the divine love, you become Yogamaya Yukt. Basically, he has given the power, the Yogamaya power to you. And then he becomes your slave. So for that to happen, you just imagine, you really have to be really good. Okay, you have to cleanse yourself. Your antakaran has to be pure. You have to be really selfless before God can give you his topmost and the most precious gift. And by virtue of giving you that gift, he actually becomes your slave. So if that is the case, just imagine, it is the entrance of God that we are trying to clear. See, just to get a good prize or clear an entrance in this material world takes so much of efforts. And here we are aiming for the topmost prize of God. And this is a prize that God hides. Because now it's not a small thing at stake here. God is going to become your slave. So he hides it to an extent that unless he's absolutely 200% sure you are ready, which he's anyway going to make sure you are, he will not give it to you. He will keep a dangling carrot to you. First of all, in terms of bhukti, bhukti is take money, hit a jackpot, become a president, become the next Aishwarya Rai or next Michael Jackson. You know, all these money, power, fame carrots are dangling, first of all. All right, you have developed some dispassion towards it. Then he'll start giving you higher powers, such as go to Swarglok, become Indra, okay, become Brahaspati, go to Brahmalok, enjoy higher level of opulences. Okay, if you have developed dispassion towards that as well, then say take moksha, okay, get dukh nivritti done. If you reject that also, then you start entering the realms of bhakti, and within that also there are different levels. Do you want to worship me as a king? Do you want to have a personal association with me where you can touch my feet? Do you want to have an even more intimate relationship with me where you can put your hands around me? Do you want to have even more intimate relationship where you can beat the heck out of me and I will play along? Or do you want to have the most intimate relationship where you just treat me as like your beloved? All those options are offered to us by God. But that divine love is something which is the topmost prize. So you got to be the top-notch devotee for that as well. Complete selflessness, because what you are going to get is the enslavement of God. Okay, that doesn't come easy or cheap. But at the same time, God says it's easy once you surrender and once you become good, basically selfless, I'm all yours at that point. So any questions on that right now? And God is willing to give that gift to us, but that gift is precious. So it comes when you reject everything. Right? There are so many traps we can fall into before that. And when you keep on rejecting that, and finally you say, God, I just want you and your divine love, that's when it'll happen. So that's essentially the idea. And then what is that divine love? The essence of that is his Yogamaya power. So God is willing to give you his Yogamaya power to the Jivatma. You become Yogamaya Yukt at that point, and you are a done deal at that point. Okay, that's how this whole thing goes. So we will do a put it all together session just to do a side-by-side comparison and the key points that we have discussed for all those three in Friday's session. Tomorrow we'll not have a session because I'm traveling, but we will do a recap, put it all together for all the three energies that we have spoken about, so that any other questions we can iron out during that session or complete or conclude our discussion. So any questions that anybody has on what we have discussed today on this topic?
No hands raised so far, Bhai. But it's good to know that
There will be one hand raised and then there'll be flood of hands. Okay, I'll tell you.
we have, Rahul Bhai. Radhe Radhe.
Yes, Rahul.
Radhe Radhe. There is a very beautiful story in Ramayana also where when Sri Ram as a child gets super happy with Kapshundi the crow, then he asks him, okay, you ask him for mukti, bhukti, whatever you want, Siddhi, I will give everything. But Kapshundi is also very clever. He says, only divine love will satiate me, nothing else. So it is a very beautiful chopai there. Yeah.
Very true. And Kakushundi in fact says that I realized you in this body. So I would continue with this body. And I think the boon that he got was to partake the nectar of all Ram Bal Leelas. So whenever Ram Avatar happens, wherever it happens, which is happening as we speak in one of the Brahmans for sure. Right? I've spoken about Ram Krishna avatars are pretty frequent avatars, and God is a frequent traveler. Okay, he has a lot of Brahmand miles. And wherever it is happening, Kakushundi is there because he gets to devour that nectar of his Bal Leelas. Thank you for sharing that. Great point. Yes.
Yeah. Sadhya ji, Radhe Radhe. Sadhya.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. These are like two little technical questions. First, while you were saying that God has a body and a soul, soul is Radharani Yogmaya. Body is also in terms of the three entities Yogmaya only, right?
Body is also made up of Satchidanand. There is no difference. His body is made up of bliss, God's body. So if you touch it, you'll get an electric shock, I guess, of Anand. I don't know how it will feel, but it is made up of Satchitanand. We can't understand that entity, right? If we touch it. I mean, I always wonder, how would it feel like if you touch God? So with his Yogamaya, he may make you seem like you're touching a normal human body, but it is truly made up of Satchitanand. That's what our scriptures tell us. It is made up of bliss.
Subtle thing. So we can't even, I guess, with our material senses, we can't.
Yeah, that's true.
Another question was, so Krishna is Param Purush. So same way is Radha also.
Param Stri, you're saying?
I'm just asking, like, because Krishna and Radha are same, and there is some, like, I just want, like, you.
Yeah, so let's say feminine form of Krishna is Radha. Right? So he said that why to deprive the souls of a spiritual mother? So let me assume a form of Radha also. See, let's say our personality, it has we have a bag of good and bad things, right? God has only good things. So if we could distill the best part of our personality, which is formed of only Kripa, love, and all those good things, that we could personify it and separate it out, right? That would have been so nice. And Krishna has the ability to do that. We don't have that. And that's what he does when he's created. Radha is only made up of Kripa. The only thing she can do is Kripa and give divine love, right? But when mother has to do the cleaning up stuff in material world, then she takes on a form of Durga or some other form as well. Yeah. So that is what the Radha Tattva is. And that is the soul of God, Yogamaya power of God, Parashakti of God, everything is that. So even from our devotee standpoint, the grace aspect is invoked through the Yogamaya Shakti. And that is why the mother's stature is accorded higher in scriptures, because going to father through mother is a preferred path, right? It's like you'll still go to Krishna, but through mother you will go. It becomes a little easier. So Shakti or devotion is considered higher. That is why we do Radhe Radhe and Radhe Radhe Sham se mila de. That is the punchline in Braj. Radhe Radhe Sham se mila de. Yeah. But as a devotee, we are lucky in the sense that, like I said, we can have both Sham Ras and Gaur Ras. Sham can have Gaur Ras, Gaur can have Sham Ras, but as devotees, we can have both Sham and Gaur Ras. So we have that privilege where we can worship both and partake the nectar of both the rasas, is what how Maharaj Ji explains it beautifully, Swamiji as well. So, okay, any more questions on this? I know a lot of philosophy today. Hope it was not too loaded today, but we have covered. And see, just think about it. Even the Maya energy of God is so amazing. You can marvel at how the soft petals are created, the beautiful colors that they have, the hue that is created in the sky during dawn and dusk. So if Maya can be so mesmerizing, you can just imagine what Yogamaya will be capable of, how it would be the possibilities of bliss in the spiritual abodes, which we don't have any access to, so at least until now. So Yogamaya power of God is something which is pretty amazing, and that's what God uses to accomplish all the impossible feats and also to grace the souls. So that is the concept. Yogamaya, Maya, and Jeeva Shakti, we are these three entities. And like I said, we are the initial ones, students who are getting this privilege to go through these concepts. In years to come, people will actually learn Hindi and do so many things just to get to the gist of these concepts, because they are very, very deep. And tons of literature will be devoted to this topic in the years to come. And a lot of PhDs, doctorates will be done on these topics. I think Seema has a question. Yes, go ahead, Seema. No? Okay, maybe not.
As you say, ki Radharani is the supreme power behind Krishna also. So that means जो ये कहावत बनी है हमारे material world में, behind every man is woman. So शायद वहीं से आई होगी ये भी, right?
Yeah.
Krishna is Krishna.
Yeah, behind every successful man is a woman. Very good catch, Shyamji.
So Radharani is great. So let's worship Radharani. And we can have Krishna.
Yeah, we can have Yugal Sarkar, both of them together. We can worship. That is the best. Jyoti ji has something to add on. Yes, Jyoti ji.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. I don't have a question, but I have a bhajan which I won't sing. It's a very popular bhajan, but very difficult to sing for me.
Mhm.
So if anybody else wants to take a stab at it, please do. But this, what comes to mind is प्रबल प्रेम के पाले पढ़कर, भक्त प्रेम के पाले पढ़कर, प्रभु को नियम बदलते देखा, अपना मान टले टल जाए पर भक्त का मान ना टलते देखा. And the specific lines that are coming into mind are, जिनकी वक्र भ्रुकुटी के भय से सागर सप्त उबलते देखा, उसको माँ यशोदा के भय से अश्रु बिंदु दृग ढलते देखा. This is a bhajan written by Binduji, and so they included their own name into the bhajan. So जिनकी वक्र भ्रुकुटी के भय से, जिनकी eyebrows अगर थोड़ी सी हिल जाए तो सागर सप्त उबलते देखा, उसको माँ यशोदा के भय से अश्रु बिंदु दृग ढलते देखा. This is the kind of kripa that Bhagwan Ji does on his devotees.
Very true.
जिनके चरण कमल कमला से करतल से ना निकलते देखा, उसको गोकुल की गलियों में कंटक पथ पर चलते देखा. When I hear this bhajan, it really makes me emotional. रास रचाए जिनकी केवल कृपा दृष्टि से सकल विश्व को पलते देखा, उसको गोकुल में माखन पर 100 बार मचलते देखा. Sorry. I love
It's a
this
beautiful
bhajan.
one. Very nice. Thank you for sharing that. It reminds me of another bhajan, Albelo Hamaro Yaar. In that it says that, the kal or the death actually shakes. Look, the God, And thinking about God or seeing God, even the Kal or Yamaraj, they start shaking. And the same God is shaking, looking at the stick of Yashoda Maiya. Right? That I'm forgetting that line. It's a beautiful line. That is what
Yeah,
happens when he loses his almightiness. Yeah.
in order to give Yashodama that satisfaction that she has Krishna as her son, he goes all the way to the aspect of allowing her to shake her fist at him, hold his ear, chastise him. She's
Right.
doing it out of love, and he allows it to happen, and
Right.
it's beautiful.
Beautiful. Yeah. And God prefers to lose his almightiness in front of his devotees. It's not like God wants to be powerful and impress anybody. He loves to lose his almightiness in front of selfless devotees. In fact, and it is only through his Yogamaya power those leelas are enabled as well, right? We spoke about Sandhini Shakti, Samvit Shakti, all the sweetness. It comes from, let me go to the previous slide. It comes from this Shakti that we spoke about, right? All the three Shaktis we spoke about. So Sandhini Shakti gives the form. Samvit Shakti, which is the Chitta Shakti, it gives the sweetness, friendliness that God gets in. So it is enabled through his Yogamaya power only. And that is the significance of his Yogamaya power. And when somebody becomes God realized, the grace that through the grace of God, that grace comes through Yogamaya power, and then the soul is get endowed with the Yogamaya power also. Then you also have the Yogamaya power of God at that point. When you have that power, you have enslaved God, because God is actually under the influence of his Yogamaya power. See, that's a natural relationship that gets established. How? Our soul, which energizes us, our body is actually trying to serve our soul by trying to give it happiness, right? What is the cause of we seeking happiness? Our soul is seeking happiness. And what is our body doing? Trying to find that bliss somehow. We have forgotten that we are divine, so we are trying to give our soul the happiness of this world. So similarly, soul is energized by, our body is energized by soul, so body is serving soul. Soul is energized by Paramatma, so we need to serve Paramatma. Paramatma is energized by Radha Tattva, Yogamaya, so God is serving Yogamaya. So this relationship is automatically established. Yes, Rahul?
Rahul bhai.
In the lyrics of Ore More Bhajan, there is a very beautiful line. Chakar bani nit karat chakri, sundar shyam sujan re. The beautiful Sri Krishna himself becomes Radharani's servant and serves her always.
Yeah, Shama Sham Milan Nit Hit Prati Nainan Neer Bahaye Ja. I know, it's a beautiful bhajan. Great. So any other questions? I know it was a bit technical, but I'm sure a lot of questions will be popping up in your head. And then if you look at it in entirety, the three elements, eternal entities that we have spoken about, I hope it's kind of making sense of what we've been discussing. And then we will get back to our Bhagavad Gita train from our chapter 2 is pretty much done. Maybe one shloka I'll pick up. Chapter 3 we will do really quickly. Karam, Akaram, Vikaram, and Karam Sannyas, maybe few sessions, and then we'll get back on our 4th chapter, the regular routine that we are doing, one verse a day from 4th chapter, I believe 31st or 32nd verse onwards. But before that, we will do our celebration also, 2-year celebration. Look out for that in the first week of January. And that's going to be another fascinating discussions we'll have around that. Yes, Sandhya?
Yes, Sandhya ji. Yeah.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. So here, like Satchitanand, does it mean that the Chidanand can also be Nirakar Brahm? Because the Sat aspect is not there? Or am
So the
I...
Sat aspect, Chidanand basically is just saying that the Sat aspect is actually emanating from Chit. Okay, that's just a name. There's no Chidanand God. So basically, when God comes in his Swarupa Shakti, the three aspects are always there, right? But if one of it is hidden or two of it are hidden, then obviously it's not a complete Brahm at that point. It is a complete Brahm, but couple of aspects are hidden at that point. So if he doesn't have a form, where will sweetness come? Right? Light cannot give you sweetness. Can you become friends with light? Right? So that aspect will be hidden.
So what does really mean that without this Krishna would be Nirakar Brahm?
Yeah, that's essentially what it is. So in Nirakar Brahm, the form aspect is missing, the sweetness aspect is missing.
All the
Both are
three,
missing.
Satchitananda, are you saying? Okay, okay.
That is missing because he doesn't, those are latent in that, right? That is not needed. In fact, I will do another session, maybe one of the sessions in the three aspects of God, what Shaktis get manifested: Paramatma, Bhagwan, and I think there are three, and the Brahma. So the Brahma aspect, which is all pervading, the Paramatma aspect, which is seated within, and the Bhagwan aspect, which who takes on an avatar. So maybe a discussion on that would clarify more. So in those, Sat, Chit, and Anand, they manifest in different varying proportions. In one, Chit and Anand are missing, in one Sat is missing, and in this Anand complete, all the three are present. So when we have that discussion, it will shed more light on this topic.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. See, the light cannot have leelas. Light does not take avatar. It's always present. And light does not have sweet pastimes. So those aspects are missing. They are present only in the Bhagavan aspect of God, where he takes on an avatar. Sat aspect just knows how to do Raksha of its Satta. When it says Raksha of its Satta, means to protect its dominion. Okay, whenever there is an imbalance in that, tsunamis happen, earthquakes happen, all these things happen. So Sat aspect is all pervading aspect of God. Okay, so we'll talk about that concept also in greater detail. Yes, Subodhji.
Subodhji,
Yeah.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe, sir. So I have one question related to surrendering and decision making. Now, sometimes there are many times that we are not able to decide on any one scenario. So that time, if we surrender to, means pray to God, surrender to God, and throw cheats and pick up one random cheat, or ask someone to pick up the cheat and then decide. So is it a part of laziness, or that time that our surrender is just to help make us decide? For example, like during matchmaking, there are suppose 4 proposals coming, and each one is equally competing with each other. You are confused what to do now. So that time, if you throw a cheat because you don't have much information at the time of decision making, or there are many other factors, you have to decide within a given time. So that time I completely surrender to God and say, now you only decide and take this. And if we do this many times, is that okay, or we have to decide within the given time and within the given information? So is that right? Is that means, are we hiding behind surrendering to take the decision, or we have to be brave enough and take the decision and go ahead?
I don't know. I mean, if I have 4 matches to choose from, it's a good problem to have, first of all. I don't know how will I pick it up, but whatever you go with, you just pray to God that give me wisdom so that whatever, see, I'm making this choice based on my best judgment and of clarity at heart, purity at heart. And that's all I know. But we have to stick by that decision and leave it at God's feet. So that's the best way to do, because end of the day, whatever is there in your prarabdha will take over anyways, right? If it is, especially if it is driven by prarabdha. So regardless, we need to have acceptance around the decision that, sometimes the circumstances make for us, or we make ourselves, through our free will. But in either case, we can offer it at the feet of God, saying that that is the best I could do. Please help me and give me wisdom, and help me on this one, God, because I am limited with my understanding, and that's the best I can do. So have that purity of heart and sincerity at heart, and leave it to God. That's the best way to do. Because even if you overanalyze, how is it going to help? Will it help actually? If it helps, then go ahead and make a matrix of 4 things: pros and cons, maybe a risk score or something like that. And whoever has the least risk score, go with that. If we can do that, still we say, God, I'm going with this decision based on the best I could, my mind could tell me, but I leave it up to you, so that, whatever I have taken is aligning to your will. Either way, we have to take God's shelter, but we still have to do our best as we possibly can.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Babu.
Or if we are completely Sharanagat, I will not even worry. It's like, okay, God, whatever you decide. But if we have the ability to take a decision, we should do it to the best of our ability and then offer it to God, basically. That's the best I could have done. Please make it happen.
Thank you, sir.
But yeah, you can ask this question to Swamiji if you meet him in person and let us know what he says. I've just tried to give you my 2 cents on what little I could understand, hearing some of his responses, but please check it out with him as well and let me know what he has to say. Okay.
Sir, actually, sorry. Yes, sir. Actually, the decision making, then people will start saying you took the decision. But it means if it goes on the other side, if it's not correct, then people will start blaming us that you only took that decision. If we take it ourselves, but if we totally leave it to God in front of them, then that backlash won't come much to us.
Okay. Oh, put it on God. That okay, I left it on God, so let God handle it.
No, I will be at peace, but then other people will also be at peace. Otherwise, they will start saying you only took like this. So in front of them, if we do like
that sense, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, if somebody else has some thoughts on it, please share it with that. It's like, okay, God, I've left it to God. So tomorrow, if something goes wrong, that's your insurance policy, right? That I left it to God. But if you say I have taken a decision, tomorrow they will, put it back on you if something doesn't work well.
So they will say you load your decisions every time on us. So at least that time, because if we take some decisions by pure heart, that won't go well with others. So then we will leave it everything in front of them and we'll say, let's see what God decides for us. Like that.
If somebody has some thoughts, please share it. Okay, bail me out on this one. I don't know. If I had 4 proposals, then I could have told you how I went about it, but it's a bit tricky at this point, right? Or you can say, see, let's see what God desires, and I will do some kind of a eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and say, you know what, maybe best of 3 eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and see what happens. But at the end of the day, we have to stick by our decision and take accountability, responsibility. But internally, we pray to God that give us guidance and wisdom around these things, because our intellect is not perfect. So maybe I'm not having the right decision making capability. I leave it to your feet to make it happen, because I'm going with this, whatever is best I can understand. And that's okay, people. If they say that, we have to own up our decisions, right? We cannot put it back on God anyways. So yeah.
Thanks.
No worries. Yes, Chandanji.
Chandanji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Chandanji.
I can't unmute him.
Audible here?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Chandanji, you are audible.
Okay.
Your voice is breaking, though.
Subodhya.
Your voice is really
We can't hear you.
breaking up. You may want to fix your audio. Okay. While he is fixing, any announcements that you want to make, or we have already made the announcements for the day?
We already made our announcements for the Sanskriti camp happening on January 20th.
Okay.
It's for 3-day event. Please register online. It's an offline event at the campus itself. It's a cultural event happening at Arcade Temple on 20 January ko. 3-day event. We can showcase our talent, singing or dancing or any vocal or instrumental music. And then we have the famous family camp coming up in July next year. It's a week-long event. People around US, Dallas, please come and visit and be a part of this family. It's a wonderful event happening once a year. though I will not be able to join there, but I hope one day. But people who can do, please do. It's once a lifetime achievement. And then we have the daily class groups happening. We have a WhatsApp group, we have the daily portal, we have the daily tracker. So please come and join the tracker and feel free to post your comments, your feedbacks, your questions.
And the feedback tracker also, please share it so that people can fill it in.
Yes, I've
All
already
right.
shared it.
So with that, I think officially we end it at 8 and move to our devotional segment. But I think Chandan ji, if your audio is fixed, we can take. Faith
Chandan ji,
comes with
Radhe.
knowledge, eliminate fear of making wrong decisions.
Radhe,
These others. I think we got a very good chat remark from Himangi ji. So with knowledge, faith comes with knowledge, and that will eliminate fear of making wrong decisions. Why please others? You need to please God. He knows what is your thinking. It's up to you. Try your best. Very nice, Himangi ji. Thank you for sharing that. Right. So when you have the knowledge, you have a faith in God, then you proceed with assurance and decisions that you take. Yes, Chandan ji, please go ahead.
am I audible here now?
Yes, you are audible now.
Okay. Can I speak in Hindi? Sometimes I'll slip English also.
Yeah, Hindi is fine. Your audio is still a little, but I think we can make it out. Please go ahead. Did we
Chandan
lose
ji,
Chandan ji again? I think there's some
Yeah,
problem
I
in
guess
his
so.
audio. Okay.
Yes.
So any last minute thing, anything, or do we have devotional segment today or anything else that you wanted to share about? We do have.
We
Right.
done it. Okay, we done all. We can start a bhajans, I guess.
All right. So
Anybody
let's.
for bhajans? Anybody for singing? We don't have Payal ji, we don't have Sunita ji,
Okay,
but
we've
we
got a
have
couple of
Sandhya
hands
ji,
already.
we
So
have
let's.
Swati ji. Yeah.
3 hands. Neetu ji is going to sing as well. Very nice. So we have got 3 hands already. Great. Let's get started then. Sandhya, you want to go first?
Neetu ji? Okay, Sandhya.
Okay, no. Okay, Shyam ji, your prerogative. If you want to call Neetu ji first, let's do Neetu ji first.
Okay. Neetu ji, Radhe Radhe. We like to
Radhe.
see you and hear you, sing you.
Thank you, Shyamji, thank you so much. Yeah, I am really nervous because I'm not really a singer, but I'll try.
So it
Whenever
makes sense to
Sanjay
put
ji
video
or
on.
sorry,
It makes sense to put a video on, so we can all enjoy your singing
no, not today. Sorry.
as you
No
wish.
worries,
Your
no
call.
worries.
Sorry.
See,
Thank
people
you so
from
much.
Rajasthan, it's in their genes to sing well, okay? So
No,
sing well, go ahead.
I'm like whenever Payal ji or Sandhya ji sing, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna do that next time, and I just get nervous.
Go ahead,
So I'm
go ahead.
just giving my best today.
You will be fine, you'll be fine. Go ahead.
Okay. राधे श्याम राधे श्याम कहिए जाहि विधि रखे श्याम ताहि विधि रहिए राधे श्याम राधे श्याम कहिए जाहि विधि रखे श्याम ताहि विधि रहिए राधे श्याम कर दे समर्पित खुद को चरणों में श्याम के श्याम एक सच्चा साथी बाकी रिश्ते नाम के काम क्रोध मोह त्याग श्याम शरण रहिए जाहि विधि राखे श्याम ताहि विधि रहिए राधे श्याम Thank you, Radhe.
Wonderful, Neetu ji. You sang it so well. It's a beautiful bhajan.
Yeah, I loved it.
Jahe vidhi rakhe, sham tahi vidhi rahiye. Beautiful. Loved it. And you should sing more often. I think you have this talent and we are discovering it now gradually.
He
Beautiful.
sings so well. ऐसे ही बोल रहे थे कि मैं नहीं गा पाऊंगी, मैं घबरा जाऊंगी, but it's
नहीं सच्ची मुझे मुझे सुनना बहुत अच्छा लगता है हमेशा जब संध्या जी गाते हैं बहुत अच्छा लगता है and I always get motivated by that. So I just prepared something.
अब अगली बार आपको कैमरा ऑन करके एकदम प्रॉपरली गाना होगा, नीट। We are waiting for
बिल्कुल
that.
बिल्कुल पक्का. Thank you.
धन्यवाद, we loved it. Thank you very much. और keep preparing more bhajans. I think you sing really well. Thank you very much for that. And
So
for
then-
that you get a heart. Let's move on now. Shyamji, who's next?
Yeah, Sandhya ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Sandhya ji. Long time no hear. Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Okay, I will just sing this because you are. I just know one line of this bhajan. This is about Radha Rani only. So because we were discussing Yog Maya, so maybe I'll sing this. कदम्ब की डारी झूले राधा प्यारी, कदम्ब की डारी झूले राधा प्यारी, झूले राधा प्यारी झूलाए बनवारी, झूले राधा प्यारी झूलाए बनवारी, कदम्ब की डारी झूले राधा प्यारी.
Beautiful. I wish you could have sung more. It's a very beautiful bhajan.
I don't know much.
Good
but
one for Roop Dhyan also. You just play it and visualize it.
Yeah.
झोटा दे भारी डरपति प्यारी. It's a beautiful bhajan. Thank you so much, Sandhya.
Thank you, Sandhya ji.
And
Thank you
for
so
your
much.
tremendous efforts and beautiful singing. Okay, reaction thing is frozen. Okay, so I'll give a blanket reaction for that. Thank you so much for that, Sandhya. Very nice.
Yeah.
Loved it. Okay, who's next, Shyamji? Okay, so for your tremendous effort, you get. Okay, it's going to happen.
Manish ji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead. The meantime,
Radhe
Vidit bhai
Radhe.
is fixing his, yeah.
So this is a very long bhajan, but I'm just gonna sing one line from it. राम सिया से कह गए, राम सिया से कह गए, ऐसा कलयुग आएगा, हंस चुगेगा दाना तिनका, कौवा मोती खाएगा. ओ राम सिया से कह गए, ऐसा कलयुग आएगा, हंस चुगेगा दाना तिनका, कौवा मोती खाएगा. Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Very nice, Manish ji. Radhe Radhe, very nice. And I love your picture at the backdrop as well.
Thank
It's
you.
a beautiful picture, Krishna and Bhishma Pitama. Sometimes I wonder, did Arjun did a favor to Bhishma Pitama or not? Because God's rule is whoever he kills through his hands goes to his abode, right? But maybe it was part of the Leela. But it's a beautiful picture. Thank you, and very nicely done. Thank you so much, Manish ji.
Thank you.
All right, last but not the least.
Swati ji, Radhe Radhe. Thank you for waiting so much.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe.
Can we see you while you
Shyam
sing?
Sundar. Yeah.
Sorry, can we see you while you sing or not?
Okay, you want to see me? I'm not ready, but it's okay.
Okay.
Can we sing you while you see?
Thank you so much.
Okay, I'll just try to put on
Sure,
the
sure.
video. Okay, yeah.
Thank you so much.
श्याम सुंदर हमारो यार, लखन को जिया ललके, श्याम सुंदर हमारो यार, लखन को जिया ललके, जिनके सिर मोर मुकुट राजे, कोट रोचन तिलक भाल ब्राजे, लटकारी राधे लटकारी घनी घुंघराल, लखन को जिया ललके, श्याम सुंदर हमारो यार, लखन को जिया ललके, जिनके कानन कुंडल हलके, नैनन निच प्रेम सुधा छलके, नाक बेसर राधे नाक बेसर सुधर छविदार लखन को जिया ललके श्याम सुंदर हमारो यार लखन को जिया ललके. Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Beautiful, Swati ji. Very nice. It's a very beautiful bhajan. All these bhajans are very nice if you simply plug it and do Roop Dhyan. Amazing bhajans. And you get a
Thank
heart
you so
for
much,
that
Ratan,
as well,
for your
Swati ji.
camera and your singing. Thank you so much.
Sairam ji is going to sing as well. Very nice. So let's take just a gentle reminder that tomorrow we don't have a class. Day after we will have. Tomorrow I'm traveling. Day after I'll be back in business. And then we'll continue to have our sessions. So tomorrow if you show up, I don't know who will be there to keep you company. Okay. So again, just a quick reminder. Yes, Sairam ji. Please go ahead. And
Sairam
Himangini.
ji, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, Sairam ji.
Radhe Radhe. You were saying something, Nitin ji. Sorry, I may have interrupted you.
No. I was saying Radhe Radhe, Sairam ji.
Oh, okay. Radhe Radhe. Okay, today I will sing Nikunj mein bhiraje. निकुंज में भिराजे घनश्याम राधे राधे. निकुंज में भिराजे घनश्याम राधे राधे. घनश्याम राधे राधे तू शाम से मिला दे. निकुंज में भिराजे घनश्याम राधे राधे. राधे राधे तू शाम मिला दे. ओ श्याम मिला दे तू राधे राधे. ओ राधे राधे श्याम मिला दे. ओ श्याम मिला दे तू राधे. ओ राधे राधे श्याम मिला दे. श्याम मिला दे. ओ राधे राधे. ओ राधे राधे श्याम मिला दे. ओ श्याम मिला दे तू राधे राधे. निकुंज में भिराजे घनश्याम राधे राधे. घनश्याम राधे राधे तू शाम से मिला दे. निकुंज में भिराजे घनश्याम राधे राधे. Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
Beautiful, Sairam ji. Very nice. Your voice was going on and off, but very beautifully sung. It's a very nice bhajan too. We're talking about Nikunj, Kunj, Nikunj, Nibrit, Nikunj. Right now, we are able to appreciate it more thanks to Maharaj ji and Swami ji. So, very nice, beautiful, and thank you for taking the initiative, Sairam ji. You should sing more often. Loved it. And
यार सबसे विनती है कि एटलीस्ट गाना गाते हुए या भजन गाते हुए या अपने कैमरास ऑन करेंगे तो हमें मजा आएगा. हम आपके भाव हमारे भाव सब मिल जाएंगे तो हम लोग मजा आएगा बहुत.
Yeah, if you can do that, that will be better. That will be even better. Icing on the cake, or right?
मैं आपके पीछे पड़ा रहूंगा आपके कैमरास के लिए. प्लीज excuse me for this.
Ramji is very, very persistent. Okay, so please. But who's the next one then?
Himangini ji, Radhe Radhe.
Himangini ji, Radhe Radhe.
Oh, hold on.
Himangini ji,
Radhe Radhe.
Okay.
Radhe Radhe.
Okay.
Just one couplet. Brahma Jeeva Maya Jara Govinda Radhe. Jeeva Maya Jeeva Maya Shakti. Oh, hold on, my eyes have gone. Brahma Shakti Maya Jat Govinda Radhe. Jeeva Maya Shasaka Brahma Bata De. Sarva Shakti Swamini Govinda Radhe. Eka Shakti Para Antaranga बता दे Jeev, Maya, Shas. Another entity of God is Maya, which is lifeless. The governor of both Maya and the soul is God. They are both like powers that are governed by Him. The supreme power of all of God's power is called Parashakti, which is also Antaranga Shakti. Swarup Shakti and Yogmaya Shakti, it is God's most intimate and personal power. This is the Swamini or supreme governor of all the other powers of God. It is due to this power that God remains ever blissful. These are few couplets of a Trayadoshi Kirtan that I found online somewhere, but it's one that I keep at hand on the coffee table, dining room table, as a glance to and a reminder.
Beautiful, very nice. It's from Radha Govind Geet, Hemangani ji. You pretty
Yes.
much summarized what we have been discussing for the past 1 week on all the three Shaktis of God, including the Antrangi Shakti of Yogamaya Shakti, the supreme power of God that we spoke about today. So very nice. I know it must be very early for you there in UK, especially if you're joining in from UK. Is that so?
Because I do the class before this, which is the
Okay, got it.
Patanjali Yoga Sutra, and sometimes what we do in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it coincides with what's going on in your class. Now,
Got it.
Maya is a subject that I want to work on and
Okay.
enhance and improve, but because of the time difference, I'm not able to sit on your class. So I was wondering, are these classes available for me to look at and gain knowledge over the Christmas
Yeah,
holidays?
you can follow it on YouTube as well. I put it the videos after a week, so all the videos that we discuss here are available on YouTube as well. Shamji would be more than happy to share the link with you.
Please,
I will do-
please.
Yes, I'll do also get it.
Okay, you can check it out.
Thank you so much. Thank
No
you. Radhe
worries.
Radhe.
Pleasure to hear from you, and thank you for your recitation, Hemangani ji. Radhe Radhe.
No, most welcome. Thank you.
Loved it. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Wait.
All right, last but not the least,
Seema ji,
Seema.
Radhe Radhe, please.
Radhe Radhe Shamji, Radhe Radhe Nitin Bhaiya.
Radhe
Okay.
Radhe, Seema.
I won't take more than 30 seconds, Bhaiya, okay?
You can take 35 seconds. Please go ahead.
Okay. Trikaldarshi Triloka Swami Trikaldarshi Triloka Swami Tripundadhari Trayamb Shambhak Tripundadhari Trayamb Shambhak मृत्युदायण कला के स्वामी मृत्युदायण कला के स्वामी ए धर्म पालक अधर्म विनाशक ए धर्म पालक अधर्म नाशक त्रिकालदर्शी त्रिलोक स्वामी Radhe.
Beautiful, Seema. Very nice. Now,
Bhaiya, honestly, that wasn't me. That was my sister, and she's gone to her room now.
oh, that was Monica ji.
No. I'm in New Jersey, so
Pooja.
that's Pooja ji. Yeah.
Oh,
Matlab,
Pooja ji.
Dadi.
You guys are all very talented. I mean, I was.
इसीलिए I say please put cameras on so we know who is there.
I'm
So
really
you
sorry,
can't
Bhaiya.
dupe us next time. Seema ji.
You could have done a good job at lip syncing, okay, and nobody would have figured it out.
I was thinking, Bhaiya, but this is such a beautiful platform, and I couldn't dare to lie. So
is Pooja,
Not about
Pooja
likes,
ji
Seema ji.
joining,
It's about
joining these sessions?
not really.
Not really, okay.
Yeah.
No worries, but she sang really well and we loved it. You can.
It's perfect, man. Perfect.
You can relay that we loved it, and I was
Thank you
about
so
to
much.
say that You know, whether you dance better or sing better, I'm not able to make sure, but you disclosed that it was not you singing, but if you had sung, you would have done justice to it as well, I'm sure. Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Great.
Radhe
And
Radhe.
thank you, Pooja ji, wherever you are, for rendering your voice. And it was a beautiful bhajan, the way you sang. Loved it. And we
And
are
we
okay.
have
If you want to sing it by keeping your camera closed, we are fine.
we are
Everyone
fine.
flexible, okay, in that sense.
Just a thought. I am not forcing, but just a thought. If we can do that, we're fine otherwise.
We prefer to have your camera on, but yeah. If
We have a message in the chat box from Abhiji. He's saying that since we don't have a class tomorrow, we can have a full Sandhya tomorrow.
full
Singing
Sandhya
segment.
tomorrow,
Yeah. Devotional segment tomorrow.
feel free.
Devotional
Maybe
segment
you can
tomorrow.
have maybe
If we
Sandhya
have
and you guys can run the session if you want to have bhajan or
Sandhya
something.
ji, Rahul ji, Shyam ji, Shefali ji,
Please,
can
please
all
go
Amritamani
ahead and
ji,
have that
we can
session.
have
Okay.
a 1 hour devotional segment tomorrow.
Sure,
Please let us know. We can be there.
sure, sure. Go ahead and have it. I think
Jitin
I'll
bhai
go
says
ahead.
so.
If in
With
through the
your
aeroplane I can
permission.
join, I'll try to join as well. But go ahead and have it. Let Kriti know if you're having the session because I told you you're not going to have it. So if you're going to have it, please go ahead.
Sandhya, Rahul, please just
I would
check it out
suggest
if
maybe
we can do that.
we can all of us can get engaged in community portal. We can utilize tomorrow's day for engaging ourselves in community portal and reading so many interesting things which have come up recently, which none of us have caught up with.
Whatever comes to your mind, bit of bhajans, maybe a bit of engagement, maybe a bit of entertainment that you can plan for everyone. So you can do a mix of everything. Do whatever you want to do tomorrow.
Session cannot happen without you, Nitinji.
That's
No, I
for
can.
sure.
I'll try to join it remotely, but I'm not sure if you know. I'll probably be in the flight, and I don't know whether it will be possible or not. But yeah, go ahead and have the session. I think it will be nice.
No, Friday sounds good for the session.
Yeah, I
With-
think Friday is okay, Nitinji, because we have a paddle meeting also coming up tomorrow. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Shyamji,
Abhi,
I think
thank you so much.
burden is all on your shoulders if you want to go ahead with it.
On me. I
Maybe
can take it.
have a
I can try it out
session
with
you
your
can-
permission.
Let's see how many people you are able to turn on, get the cameras on tomorrow. You can one by one, right? So,
One day I'll make sure, trust you me, with Krishna's grace and help, I'll make sure all of us will do that. Otherwise, no class that day.
all right, great
Thank you
then.
so much for all your help. Thank you so much for it.
Thank you so much. Like I said, we will do a put it all together session to cover all summary of what we have been discussing, and then we will get back into the rhythm of our Bhagavad Gita shlokas again, right? So thanks again, everybody. Have a wonderful day, great rest of your evening, and I'll see you very soon. Take care, stay blessed, and stay warm. It's getting really cold now. So.
Same
Radhe,
here.
Radhe.
Radhe, Radhe. Thank you
Radhe.
all. See you
Thank
tomorrow.
you.
See you tomorrow. Radhe, Radhe. Bye.